Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to stick to Sweden and we're going to return to a brewery who I always enjoy reviewing beers from, but we're heading a little bit north again for this one. So we're going to go out to the west of Stockholm to Eskilstuna once again, which is home to a number of good breweries these days, but this time we are going to go back to Möllys Kvarterbryggeri, or just Möllys Brewery as they're sometimes called. I'm not clear on what the actual official name of this brewery is, but this is going to be beer review number 5 from these guys. This one is the Dubbel Erotiqa and it comes in at 6% ABV. They're describing this one as a framboise de Saison, if I've pronounced that correctly. It's been a long time since I did French at school, but basically this one is a raspberry Saison, and this was released as part of the May lot of the Lokalt och Småskaligt assortment from Systembolaget here in Sweden. So really curious to see how this one turns out. This is the first beer I'm trying from the lighter end of the spectrum from Möllys, and it's also the first one out of a can as well, which is another exciting development. So hopefully it turns out to be a nice beer, and I hope that you guys enjoy my take on this one as well. Nice to return to these guys after a couple of months again. The other beers that I've had from this brewery, there was the Dubbel La Bomba, which was their that was a big Imperial Coffee Stout, if I remember rightly. There was the Doom Warrior, which was an Imperial Black IPA. I had that one, I forget the name of it now, but I had the one that was meant to be a Trip Ale, but it actually was kind of dark, which was unusual, but it was a nice beer. And I'm sure that I also had an English barley wine from these guys at one point as well. So this is the first beer, as far as I can remember, that is from the lighter end of the spectrum. So as I say, hopefully it turns out to be nice, and I hope that it makes an interesting review for you guys as well. So yeah, let's see how we get on with this one then. So as always with my reviews, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery before we taste the beer. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that I've done from Möllys Kvarterbryggeri before. No doubt there will be some more at some point in the near future. There's all the usual social media down there as well. If you want to see more reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlists of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Swedish beers that I've reviewed for you. That's constantly being added to, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit but Möllys Kvarterbryggeri, or Möllys Brewery, whatever we want to call them. So as I've mentioned to you already, Möllys Brewery are based in Eskilstuna, out to the west of Stockholm, and they were founded back in 2015 by Daniel Herdigen, who is half German and half Swedish. So apparently his father's German family can trace their brewing roots back to the 18th century, and his father's family actually come from Erlangen, which is just outside of Nuremberg, and so he spent a lot of time in Germany, but he was actually born when the family were living in Sweden. And of course that area in North Bavaria is called Franconia, and it has the highest density of breweries per head of population anywhere in the world. You might have seen some of my reviews of the classic Bamberg beers. That is a city that I really recommend that you go and visit. That's where my good friend Daniel lives, and of course he was the one who really got me into the beers with the smoke beers originally. So yeah, if you get the chance, go to Bamberg. I need to go and do a little bit more out and about filming there at some point again soon. But yeah, he started off home brewing, and then he soon expanded up to a 500 litre brew kit, and he was producing around 25,000 litres of beer as of 2019, and he's produced around 50 different beer sorts in total. But in early 2018 they also produced a beer for Messiah Markkulin's 50th birthday. This is the Doom Warrior that you saw me review before. And Messiah Markkulin, of course, the kind of iconic singer of Swedish doom metal band Candlemass. They're awesome, go and check them out. And they also produced a special beer called Tompi for his friend who attended a lot of metal festivals with him, and this was when his child was sick with cancer, so they produced a special beer called Tompi for that. But the artwork that you see on these beers is of course very distinctive, and Daniel's brother Björn makes all of the labels that you'll find on the Möllys Kvarterbryggeri beers. And yeah, I have to say, I do like it. I like the kind of sort of pencil kind of drawn thing that it has. It looks very cool, I have to say. So yeah, you know, awesome little brewery this one. As I say, the other beers that I've had from these guys have tended to be high alcohol monsters, so it'll be nice to try something from the the kind of lower alcohol end of the spectrum, and also something that is just completely different in style as well. So yeah, that's all I can really tell you about Möllys Kvarterbryggeri for the moment. If you want to learn more, of course, you can check out the brewery website, you can follow them on Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date with all the latest goings on, and you can check out the Rate Beer and Beer Advocate pages, and I guess Untappd as well, to learn more about all of those different beers that they've done. So yeah, let's get on and have a little look at this one then and see how we get on. So yeah, this one apparently is a sort of reimagined version, if you like, of the original Erotiqa that they did. I don't know when that beer first came out, but I have heard the name of Erotiqa from Möllys, and I don't know why I didn't try it before, but apparently this one has twice the amount of it has, you know, a lot more raspberries and things in it than the other one does. But it says basically a new and fresh Sour Erotiqa Volume 2. We put double as many raspberries in it and created a fuller profile. We think that there's around 80. There was about 80 pieces of, did they say 80 different raspberries or something like that? And that, well, that doesn't seem very much for a big kind of batch of beer, in fairness. But I'm not sure exactly what. We think earlier it was, what was it, the 80 was all that it contained. I'm not sure exactly what that last sentence is saying there, but yeah, this one, as I say, it is a raspberry saison coming in at 6% ABV from Möllys Kvarterbryggeri. I do like the artwork on this. Just look at that once again, the nice little raspberry tree there, which is kind of interesting. There's the Möllys text, and there you can see the owl, which you'll find on a lot of these different Möllys beers. So yeah, let's get this guy out then, and we will get on with the tasting then. I'm very curious to see what this has in store for us. And of course, just in at the end of 2019, I think, or the early 2020, they started, they got a canning line sorted out, and then they've just, I think these are the first beers, the ones in May of 2020 are the first beers that they've released in cans. The other one was a Mosaic Pale Ale, but I thought, you know, this one, I hadn't had a Saison in quite a while, so I just thought, well, let's go for this one and see how it turns out. But I'll tell you straight away, the raspberry aroma that comes out of this is absolutely beautiful, and I'm a bit of a sucker for raspberries because, you know, Scotland is very well known for its raspberries and its strawberries, actually. I'm not sure how many Swedes will actually know that because you guys produce your own ones, but yeah, we are pretty well known for our berries, actually, and Cranachan, of course, is a classic Scottish dessert that's based on raspberries. So yeah, as you can see with this one, when you shine the light through this, the colour of this is very, very interesting. It is actually more kind of orange rather than anything else. There's definitely a little bit of a kind of tint to it. It's almost the same colour as some of these kind of cloudberry, the cloudberry sour that I had from Revson's brewery not that long ago. So yeah, this one was, this one, I would have expected it to be a little bit kind of darker than this and a little bit more kind of pinkish, to be honest with you. But yeah, it still remains, it has got a pinky tint to it. It's like you've kind of mixed a very sort of weak pink with a kind of stronger orange, to be honest with you. You can see that there was a solid, just under a finger of head of this one. That was basically, yeah, I would say it was perfect white, but it's faded away just to be a very, very thin, foamy layer. There's one or two big bubbles sticking toward the side of the glass, and quite a few little ones going up towards the bottom of the head there, and that one has just faded away to be a very, very thin, foamy layer. So I have to admit, the colour of this one did take me a little bit by surprise. I would have expected it to be just a little bit more kind of darker and red than this, but I do like how it smells, and I like how it kind of goes together. So yeah, it looks very, very nice. Let's take, and I'll tell you, some of the aromas that are coming out of this beer are quite fabulous, I have to say. So yeah, a little bit surprised by the appearance of this one, but let's take a look at that aroma then and just see how we get on. That is pretty damn nice, I have to say. The Saison, of course, is a Belgian style of beer. I forget, I think the Saison was the farmer's ale. I forget what the miner's one was called, because there was a different style for the miners, though. That's going to annoy me now, forgetting what the name of that style of beer is. But this one, I have to say, the aroma of this beer is beautiful. I think this might be the best aroma I've had from Möllys so far, although in fairness, the Dubbel Erotiqa did have a very impressive aroma to it. But yeah, this one's kind of got everything you'd expect of the style. You've got a lovely big kind of doughy, bready, yeasty kind of thing in there. It's almost got a wee touch of a kind of It's almost got a little bit of a kind of coriander-ish type spice to it, to be honest with you, but the breadiness smells very, very smooth and almost quite sweet. I really like how I really like how all of that just kind of fits together. I mean, it's very, very, it really is very, very nicely done. So, yeah, I really like how this one, I really, really like how it goes together. Yeah, that is pretty awesome, I have to say. Yeah, but there's nothing overly surprising about that malt base. It's just the nature of the kind of white bready notes that come out of it, the slightly thicker doughy yeasts, the wee bit of kind of clovey, coriander-y type spice that comes out of it. There's maybe a teeny little bit of an almost biscuity note to it, which is quite interesting. On the hoppy side of things, there's a little light touch of earthiness there. You do get a wee bit of a kind of grassy floral kind of thing as well, but the rest of the aroma is really dominated by the raspberries. You get a wee bit of sharpness out of it. You do get a wee bit of sharpness from the raspberries, but mainly they come across as very, very juicy. Actually, the raspberries in this are some of the juiciest I think that I've come across. Our ones in Scotland are just a little bit more tart than this. So yeah, very, very juicy raspberries coming out of the aroma here. And I think the thing with I don't know with saisons, I know with sour beers they use old hops so it doesn't take over the sourness, but I don't know with saisons if they do the same thing, if they use slightly older hops so the beer doesn't get too bitter. But I have to say, the aroma of this one really is very, very nice. There's nothing surprising about it, but it's just really, really well done, I have to say. So yeah, big thumbs up to Möllys Brewery for this. I think they've got this one aroma-wise spot on. So yeah, let's have a taste of this one then and see how we get on. This one is the Dubbel Erotiqa at 6% ABV, a Framboise de Saison, a raspberry saison from Möllys Kvarterbryggeri in Eskilstuna, out to the west of Stockholm here in Sweden. Let's get stuck into this one. Beer review number 5 from Möllys Brewery. Slange, skål. That's nice. Oh yeah. It starts off with a good little bit of sharpness, but it's remarkably clean in the aftertaste. I like that. It actually smells a bit thicker than it turns out in the flavour. I don't know if that's the fruit that's doing that, but I will say they've pulled off a solid beer here. This is good. I need to try. I need to try a few of the different styles from Möllys, although in fairness I have tried quite a few different styles. I need to try more of the lighter styles from Möllys, I guess I should say. But yeah, that's pretty solid. The focus really is quite highly on the raspberries, but you can feel when the more yeasty, doughy notes push their way out of this one further into the aftertaste. This is a really, really solidly done beer actually. I like how this one, I really like how it goes together. Yeah, it's great. Big thumbs up to Möllys for this one. So yeah, as soon as you take this beer in then, you get a really nice kind of, you get a really kind of sharp raspberry tartness out of this one. It's not the most puckering one that I've come across, but it really juices out very, very nicely. And then those kind of juicy raspberry notes just linger there on the edge of your palate. If you go to the middle of your tongue, you can feel there is a sort of pale malty base to this one, but on top of that, in the middle third of your tongue, that's where you get the really kind of thicker, doughy, kind of bready notes out of this one. There is a sort of clovey flavour evolves out of that later on. If you go a bit further back, it gets a little bit more kind of coriander and spicy. Then in the back third of your tongue, there is a wee bit of a kind of graininess just underpinning that, but some of the kind of doughy, yeasty, almost slightly smoother and sweeter type notes from the beer really start to come out a little bit more. So I really like that about how this one goes together. Yeah, the flavour in this beer I think is that is really, really nicely done, I have to say. So gets a big thumbs up from me, definitely. Yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, in terms of the in terms of that kind of fruity side of things. It's just I really like how that goes together. I really do. There's not too much else to say about the kind of doughy, kind of yeasty things in that. It does get a little bit more grainy, I think, the further you go into the aftertaste. You can feel the middle of your palate just drying out a little bit, and maybe you get a wee bit more of the kind of clovey, coriandery notes pushing their way out of it. But I really like it, like that about how it goes together. So yeah, this one is really nice actually. In terms of the, pardon me, in terms of the hoppy side of things, then let's look at that. In the back corners of the palate, you have got just a wee bit of earthiness there. And as you come further forward on this one, you do get a little bit, it kind of evolves to be almost a little bit herbal, but then as you reach the front corners of the palate, you get just a little bit of a lighter kind of floral aromaticity. Underneath, there's a bit of lighter grassiness, but around the kind of front edge of the tongue, that's where a lot of the raspberry notes kind of come out of this one. You can feel that the juices from the raspberry, this always happens when you add fruit to the beer. It just suppresses the kind of hoppy, bitter side of things. So this Saison really comes across as quite, you know, it's very juicy and wet rather than anything else. It's almost got a little bit of a kind of oily-ish character from the fruit, to be honest with you. But the fruitiness is really interesting because when you first take it in, it's really quite sharp. Yeah, the fruitiness from this beer, when you first take it in, it's really quite sharp, and it's just a little bit dark in terms of its flavour, but then it juices up really nicely, and you can feel that nice wetness around the kind of very edge of your, the kind of edge of your palate. So I really like how all of that goes together. It's just a very solid beer, this one, and it's a nice example. It's quite it's not quite as thick as you're going to get from some Saisons, I think, but I think Daniel's done a very nice job with this one, so it gets a thumbs up from me. I'd be very curious to see what some of his other beers of this style are like. I don't know how many kind of fruit beers and things that he's done, but if he's done 50 different beers, there must be a good few other examples of things like this. So who knows, he might try a few different fruits and things like that to see how it turns out. But I think he's done a good job of this one, so it does get a thumbs up from me. I wouldn't hesitate to drink that one again. I'd be interested to see what it turns out like in keg. Just to see if the kind of middle part of it feels a little bit thicker. But I think this beer probably is a little bit thick. I think the fruit, the kind of juiciness of the fruit maybe makes it feel a little bit lighter than it actually is. But in terms of its flavour profile, it gives you everything you want from the style. It's quite a summery beer, this one, to be honest, which is probably why they've kind of released it at this time. It's definitely more of a kind of summer type beer, this, rather than anything else, but I like it, and that's the main thing. If you enjoy the beer, that is all you really want. So yeah, in terms of the mouthfeel then, this one, I think it's kind of at the top end of mid-bodied. It actually feels a good little bit oily. It's got a lovely kind of juiciness to it as well, which I really like. As I say, you get a little bit of sharp tartness out of it in the beginning as well, and I would say that overall it's quite oily, but at the same time underneath it's quite smooth. So yeah, definitely mid-bodied, mainly kind of oily beer for me. In terms of hoppy bitterness, I think about 15 IBUs. Yeah, I think about 15 IBUs. It can't be more than that, maybe 10 or 15, something like that, yeah. But a good little bit of sharpness, fruity sharpness on it in the beginning. Some nice kind of oily, fruity, juicy notes as well, and some nice lighter kind of grassy qualities. Like I said, the middle of your palate is very smooth. It does get thicker. There's a wee teeny touch of spice, but the spiciness almost just makes it a little bit smoother and sweet rather than anything else. But yeah, really kind of nice mouthfeel, this one. And I have to say, I would definitely drink this beer again. So yeah, compared to the other styles that I've had from Möllys, it is very different, but I'm fairly impressed with this one. I'm fairly impressed with this. So yeah, if you do get the chance to try this one, have a go at it yourself and just see what you think. But be aware this one is definitely more of a kind of summer type beer, this. So yeah, don't go expecting it to be you know, very, very thick in things. You do get Saisons that are a bit thicker and more spicy for Christmas. This is definitely more one of the lighter, kind of smoother summer Saisons, I would say. But it does the job, and it is nicely crafted. So well done to Möllys once again. So yeah, let's leave it at that for this one. I'm curious to see what my next beer review from these guys is going to be, and cool to see them that they're canning their beers now as well. So yeah, once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Möllys Brewery as well. Do give me some other Swedish brewery recommendations, because I know there's lots and lots of breweries that are getting up and running now that I haven't heard of yet, so do keep your brewery recommendations coming in the comment section below. But this one was the Dubbel Erotiqa, a Framboise de Saison, Raspberry Saison at 6% ABV from Möllys Brewery, or Möllys Kvarterbryggeri, whatever the name of this one actually is, in Eskilstuna, out to the west of Stockholm here in Sweden. A lovely summery beer, this one, and I do recommend that you try. Slange, skull, catch you guys very soon. Cheers.